Six Flags Great America is one of the premium parks in the Six Flags chain. Located between Chicago and Milwaukee, this park is highly attended every year. Due to that, the park contains 15 total roller coasters, putting it near the top of the list of parks with the most roller coasters that you'll find. Growing up in Chicagoland, Great America was my home park for 18 years, which makes the park my most attended and its roller coasters my most ridden. The roller coaster lineup may be lacking an elite coaster, but has great depth and does not have a bad roller coaster to find, once Iron Wolf was relocated. Here is how I rank the 15 roller coasters of Six Flags Great America. Before we begin, I would like to make a disclaimer that the rankings in this video are strictly factual, and if they differ from yours, then my rankings are better than yours and I know it. These are just my opinion, and you may have things ranked differently than I do. At number 15 is Sprocket Rockets, a Vekoma junior coaster that was opened in 1998. Sprocket Rockets is a basic junior coaster with a right turning drop followed by some drops and turns. The roller coaster is a great starting roller coaster for kids looking to work their way up the roller coaster ladder. Unfortunately for Sprocket Rockets, Iron Wolf has left the park, so someone had to take over the last place spot. Coming in at number 14 is Little Dipper, a wooden roller coaster manufactured by PTC, or the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. Opened in 1950 and was relocated to Great America in 2010. Little Dipper opened in 1950 at the former Kiddieland Park in Maywood, Illinois. Once the park closed, Little Dipper's future was in jeopardy. Great America purchased the roller coaster at an auction and relocated it to the park. Much like Sprocket Rockets, this is a family-oriented roller coaster, only reaching a height of 28 feet. The ride features a few drops including a double down, and does run very well for its age, making it a great fit for the park. Coming in at number 13 is The Joker, a 4D free spin manufactured by S&S and opened in 2017. S&S free spins are very polarizing. I rode this one time and absolutely hated it. The ride was painful, especially in the male area of the body that's responsible for breeding, and I maybe got a few flips total. I then rode Dragon Slayer at Adventureland a month later and got almost 10 flips. In other words, if the pain levels are going to be similar and I'm going to equally jeopardize my future of having children, I'd rather get more flips. This ride sits where Ragin' Cajun used to stand, and I'd rather have that roller coaster pack at the park. At number 12 is The Dark Knight, a Wild Mouse manufactured by Mock Rides and opened in 2008. I've only ridden this one time with very low expectations and actually found the ride to be fairly solid. The theming on this ride is very good, especially considering Six Flags standards, and the ride ran pretty quick with decent turns and drops. Don't skip this one, you might actually enjoy it more than you think. Holding the number 11 spot is The Demon, a looping coaster manufactured by Aerodynamics and opened in 1976. Much like a lot of Chicagoland kids, this was my first looping roller coaster and is the traditional Aerodynamics looper and definitely getting up there in age. There have been issues with how the coaster is running lately, but I have never had a notoriously rough ride on here. The first drop pulls some great airtime in the back, and the ride runs through the typical double loop and double corkscrew combo with some nice rockwork theming throughout it. Nothing extraordinary here, but it serves its purpose very well. The roller coaster is probably nearing the end of its time at the park, so get a ride in on it if you have an opportunity. At number 10 is The Whizzer, a jumbo jet manufactured by Schwarzkopf and opened in 1976. This roller coaster could easily be ranked higher here. The ride has a minimum height of 36 inches, making it a lot of kids' first roller coasters. The nice part is each car is two people with one in front of the other, making young kids feel very comfortable if this is their first ride. Despite the low height limit, this ride is still pretty intense. The drops are shallow but long, with long low to the ground turns through the woods at pretty decent speeds. The ride is pretty long as well, offering a lot. There's a reason this survived the attempted murder in 2004 and Shockwave was axed instead. At number 9 is American Eagle, a wooden roller coaster manufactured by Intamin and opened in 1981. Humble brag alert, this is actually the first roller coaster I ever rode for some reason. Apparently I wanted to skip the kiddie stuff and jump right up to the big leagues. This ride is a classic and delivers a great ride experience if it's running smooth. That helix can be forceful, but if it's running rough, it's very painful. Other than that, the drops are great and offer decent airtime. It was mentioned earlier that Great America does not have an elite coaster, but I truly think an RMC conversion would give the park that option. I know the process of naming RMC roller coasters is very rough and sophisticated, but I came up with some options. Steel Eagle, Iron Eagle, Twisted Eagle, Wicked Eagle, Eagle's Revenge, New Eagle, or my personal favorite, Eagle 2 Electric Boogaloo. At number 8 is Superman Ultimate Flight, a flying coaster manufactured by B&M and opened in 2003. This roller coaster took over the Fallen Shockwave in 2003 and was a great addition to the park, constantly drawing long lines. This is the only flying coaster I have ridden, and I thought the ride was good for what it is, but I did leave wanting more. The pretzel loop is intense and easily the best moment on the ride. Other than that and the first drop, the ride kind of just meanders around for me. The purpose of the ride though is to make you feel like you are Superman and flying, which it does accomplish. I just wanted a little more intensity here compared to what I was given, but I do enjoy it every time I get a ride. At number 7 we have the Flash Vertical Velocity, an impulse coaster manufactured by Intamin and opened in 2001. Intamin impulse coasters may have run their course, but these rides are still very intense. Anything 185 feet tall reaching speeds of 70 miles per hour with a launch start will be a solid ride. I haven't ridden this in a number of years, but the ride offers an intense experience that always delivers. This ride may not be around in the near future, so like Demon, get a ride on it if you can. At number 6 is the Viper, a wooden roller coaster built by Six Flags and opened in 1995. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Six Flags actually built a roller coaster themselves. This is a mere clone of the classic Coney Island Cyclone roller coaster and is the only roller coaster that was directly built by Six Flags. This is a great roller coaster, offering solid airtime and a lot of it. If I ever had a list of most underrated roller coasters, this one would be on it. The first drop is a little underwhelming, but the rest of the ride as it weaves in and out of the structure is strong, which is why I rank it highly at the park. Coming in at the top 5 is X-Flight, a winged roller coaster built by B&M and opened in 2012. One of the first B&M winged coasters opened at the park in 2012. These coaster types can be very hit or miss, but X-Flight delivers for me. These rides tend to be more graceful than intense, but X-Flight still packs some great forces and elements, which offer a great combination between hang time and intensity. The ride does run a little rough compared to other winged coasters like Wild Eagle at Dollywood, but not rough enough to take away from the ride. The best part of the ride is easily the near-miss elements in the ride finale as the ride barrel rolls through the flight control tower. Coming in at number 4 is Max Force, an air-powered launch coaster manufactured by SNS and opened in 2019. Great America's newest roller coaster is short but intense. The ride accelerates to 78 miles per hour in just 1.8 seconds, an experience that makes the ride worth it by itself. From there, the ride goes into what is called a dog tongue before dropping and flying through the barrel roll. The ride then rises into a small 0G stall and drops into the brake run. Due to the short ride time, this ride could be ranked in a lot of different places, but the launch is just too good for me to not rank this highly at the park. Unfortunately, the air-powered launch is unreliable, so if this ride is open, make sure to get on it. If the ride is broken down, the air-powered launch is incredibly loud, so you'll be able to easily hear if the ride is reopened. At number 3 is Batman the Ride, an invert built by B&M, opened in 1992. Batman is the first B&M invert that was ever built, and what a great debut for a ride type. It's commonplace to hate on roller coaster clones, but I think people tend to underrate them as a result. But as I always say, rides are cloned for a reason, and I think this ride was cloned because it's simply a fantastic ride. Simply put, the ride is fast, intense, and forceful. The ride may fall on the shorter side, but that's more due to the fact that it flies through the layout quickly. I love the second half with the 2 wing-over inversions as the pacing is crazy, being low to the ground with very tight elements. People should be allocating all their clone hatred to the 4D free spin clones. We don't need those around. Coming in at number 2 is Goliath, a wooden roller coaster manufactured by RMC or Rocky Mountain Construction and opened in 2014. Goliath is considered by some people as a lower tier RMC, and I disagree. It's a short ride, which is a legitimate claim against it, but every element on the ride is fantastic. Starting with a 180-foot 80-degree drop, the ride gets off to a relentless start. After a turn and drop, Goliath hits an awesome ejector speed hill and rises into another awesome element, an insane dive loop. From there, the ride hits a phenomenal 0G stall with sustained hang time and a great exit. One more turn and drop and the ride is over. This ride is great, and I do rank it over Iron Rattler at Fiesta Texas, a ride that people rank very highly but offers a similar amount of ride time. I constantly switch Goliath and the next roller coaster on this list back and forth between number 1 and number 2 depending on the ride I get that day at the park. And finally at number 1 is Raging Bull, a B&M Hyper Twister coaster opened in 1999. Another polarizing roller coaster takes the number 1 spot for me at Great America. Raging Bull is a B&M Hyper, but a unique one as it is not a traditional hyper layout with airtime hills and is alternatively a twister layout. Despite this, the ride still offers a ton of airtime, especially in the back row and especially the first drop, which is one of the best you will find. The twister sections before the mid-course are hit or miss sometimes, but if the ride is running well, these will provide some decent forces. The drop off of the mid-course brake run is great, as well as the airtime hill afterwards. From there, Raging Bull enters a unique twisted helix finale that provides some tight forces to close out the ride. Raging Bull may not be as intense as Goliath, but the amount of additional ride time cannot be overlooked and is why I rank it at number 1 for now. So there you have it, every roller coaster at Six Flags Great America ranked. Let me know in the comments if you rank them different, or feel free to trash talk my rankings. If you made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe if you can, as that helps a young channel like mine grow. This is Rollercoaster GP, and I will see you next time.